Lane Johnson, looking good, feeling good,
Feeling good.
feeling great.
Feeling great.
I can't believe it's been 10 years. How many times do you think we've talked? I keep looking at your bio. I'm like, what am I going to talk to Lane Johnson about that I haven't talked about? It's been a million times, right?
Yeah, it's been a lot.
So the one thing I do want to start with, 10 years in, do you remember, like, is it the same feeling every year?
Yeah, same feeling. I mean, really going in, you just try to focus in on the day, attack each day, and then game day will be there before you know it. So that's kind of how we've been approaching things for the, I guess, past 10 years. And
Is it first day of school stuff or not even, or am I over?
nah, the first day of school is really like a training camp feeling. And
Okay.
now it's, I guess, showtime.
It is showtime. And tell me about the show and Lane Johnson and the feeling that you have about yourself, about this offensive line, about this offense, about this team going into 2022.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the putting the work in. I feel like we've had lots of good preparation. We had lots of good practices with the Browns, with Miami, so simulated, a lot of game type scenarios. And right now, Wednesdays and Thursdays are really tough practices. So got those coming up and really just get ready for Detroit. They have a really good defensive line, so looking forward to it.
You watching a lot of Hutchinson and Harris? You watching everybody?
Yeah, those guys flip sides, so it'll be a good challenge for Jordan and I.
Tell me about Hutchinson.
Long, about 6'6", 260. Got good wiggle to him, quick twitch athlete, so high motor, so he'll be a good player.
Is it 6'7", 265 or something like that?
Yeah.
Who's a good comp in the NFL that fans might know?
I mean, he kind of moves like Joey Bosa a little bit. He's a little bit taller, but kind of similar.
And what about Harris?
I mean, he's around 6'3", 255. He's a guy who has some, he's a very savvy pass rusher. I think he had him around 60-something pressures last year. So he has really good pass rush moves and also has good counter moves. So if he doesn't get to the quarterback one way, he'll find another way.
I feel like you really love the technical side of things. I feel like you really love digging into the preparation, the film, the analyzing who your opponents are. Am I right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what Stout does. We dissect the defense, and my job is to dissect the pass rushers and protect the quarterback and know who I'm going against. And really everything with me is about hands, feet, and eyes. So keep those things good, and I'll be good.
Is it a different approach, power guy versus a smaller speed guy?
I go in every game feeling like I'm outgunned. Like, this guy is a superior athlete. He's better. So always on my toes. I don't take anybody lightly. So, you go out there thinking this guy doesn't have any power, then you can get bull rush on your back. So that's kind of how it works. I just, attack it every play like it's my last one.
Lane, was there ever a game when you had that experience where you took somebody lightly?
Maybe younger in my career, but I think those are good lessons learned.
For sure.
And especially something you can grow on. But, yeah, I mean, it's really what the league's all about. You can't take anybody lightly.
All right, so there's a statistic that I wanted to bring up to you. You led all NFL offensive tackles with a .2 knockdown percentage, 0 sacks and 1 quarterback hit in 413 pass blocking opportunities last season. Do you focus on the 412 good ones or the one bad one? Like, do you even remember the one bad, not the bad one, the one hit?
I think it may have been against the Raiders. We threw the ball a lot, but I don't know. I mean, really, I try to have a short-term memory. I really, like last year and all the previous years. I mean, it's really, as an offensive lineman, there's really nothing good can happen with your position except you win the game. Only thing that can happen is really negative. You get pointed out for TV, for a sack, or a hold, or anything. So there's not a whole lot of upside.
All right, so this mentality, this focus, like, for people who aren't playing in the NFL, people who they need to focus on the moment. How have you developed this through the years? Is this something you had as a kid that you didn't even quite know about?
I think it's really a lot to do with our coach, Coach Stout, just the psychology behind playing offensive line. You have to have a short-term memory. You can have a bad play, and if you still focus on that, you can have a lot more after that. So it's really, the way he tries to teach it is you got to be like Mike Myers in the Halloween movies. You always got the knife, and you're always chasing, so you're always attacking. So that's how I see it. I try to be emotionless. Don't put too much emotion in it. Just go do your job.
But it's not just like a day. It's not like game day emotionless, right? You're kind of like in character all season.
Yeah, really. I mean, like I said, there's very little upside to playing offensive line. It's a very, it's a position of servitude, and and allowing the guys on the outside and the running backs to make plays and the quarterback to make plays. So you kind of be in a constant state of not paranoia, but just high alertness, because that's what your job is, and it's a razor's edge to have a good game.
Because if you make one screw up, everybody's talking about that screw up, and the quarterback's on his back.
Yeah, Ben, people don't realize. I mean, people that really dissect and know the O-line position, they understand what it's like. But to the outsider, I mean, really, you don't get noticed unless you mess up.
Is that why you think is that why there's such a great fraternity among offensive linemen?
Yeah, because I don't feel like anybody really understands it. I mean, the general public. I mean, I remember when I was growing up watching football, I didn't care much about the O-line. All I cared about was my favorite player was Brett Favre, so I cared about who's throwing the touchdowns, who's running them in. So I understand where they're coming from.
You were a quarterback. You were a glory guy. Has it been? If you think back to that time, which I know you don't, because you just said you don't, but like that mentality, you didn't have that focus, right? Like you were looking for the glory.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a total different position. I remember looking at the O-line over there doing their drills and not moving a whole lot. I'm like, those guys are lucky. They don't have to run. They don't have to do a whole lot. And then now I'm sitting back and I'm going, those guys are lucky. They're not getting touched in practice. So it's like, it's a double-edged sword.
Lane, what part of you is a superior athlete, do you think? When you look at yourself versus just another player, where are you really, really special, do you think?
I think length and quickness. I mean, because I was a skill position player my whole life. So these guys that I'm going against, my 40's pretty close to theirs. My vertical, my 10-yard split, a lot of that athleticism is pretty evenly matched. So I think that. But at the tackle position, it's all about quickness off the line of scrimmage and reaction time, really.
In the Eagles, in your bio in the Eagles media guide, you mentioned your career accomplishments. I mean, tremendous. Pro Bowl 3 times, 2-time All-Pro, Super Bowl champion, of course. And you're mentioned among these names in Eagles history: Jason Peters, Bucko Kilroy, and Bob Brown. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, I mean, I know those are tremendous players. I think coming in, I had a great mentor in Jason Peters. He could have been a guy that, a guy that's coming in to maybe be his replacement and not help him. But, I mean, when I came in here, he took me under his wing and really like an older brother. And I observed him. I watched how he played, how he done things, and I feel like it's rubbed off. And I mean, really, and that's, just try to pass it down to Jordan. Everybody has their unique attributes. Like, there's never going to be another Jason Peters. I'm not trying to be Jason Peters. I don't want Jordan to try to be him or me. Everybody be their own person and learn what you can from those players, and then be your own person eventually.
Do you know anything about Bucko Kilroy or Bob Brown?
I know Bob Brown, Hall of Fame tackle.
Yeah, one of the greatest of all time. Do you think you would have been a great left tackle?
Yeah, I think. Put me there and let me get better. I mean, I would have probably had struggles early on, kind of like I did right tackle. But yeah, I mean, that's what I played in college. That's what I got drafted as. But I mean, I have no regrets really.
A couple more for you. What is the mentality of this football team going into Sunday?
Man, just laser focused and eliminating distractions and doing your job in high intensity. So it's really focus, intensity, and avoiding all those distractions that are out there.
Does last year's game mean anything to you?
It doesn't mean nothing to us. I mean, it's really a lot of different people on the roster for us too. So, really just erase it and short-term memory.
Will it take you a minute to get used to the noise and having not played?
It'll be different. It always is. Usually starting off a season, you have limited tape to watch as far as preseason goes. So there may be a few wrinkles. They may surprise you. It's a different atmosphere, but altogether, another start to the season.
And will you know what music? Have you laid out your music before the game? Do you know that yet?
Sometimes I listen to it. Sometimes I don't. I mean, we usually have it. Blazing in the locker room pretty loud. So even if you do have your headphones on, you can still hear it. So.
Night before the game, do you say a prayer? Do you sleep? Is it just another night for you?
Just another night, really. Like I said, I try not to get too much emotionally involved. I feel like whenever I get overhyped or you lose focus that way. So I just see it. I got an object in my way, and I need to move it out of my way.
Last one. I feel this is what I'm feeling from you. It's like you're on edge. It's like a healthy on edge feeling, getting ready for the season, and you keep it at this pitch the entire way through the season.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, you go look at the O-line room. That's how everybody's wired. That's how Coach Stout's wired. So he doesn't In the meeting rooms, there is really no rest. He's always calling on people, what's your job, making sure people are paying attention. So it's, like I said, it's not paranoia, but it's right on the line. You always got to be a high alertness.
I love it. Lane, thanks so much. Thanks for
Thanks for having
joining
me.
on the Eagles Insider Podcast.